They were ignored, largely forgotten. In all the hand-wringing, all the furore over David Hicks, how often did you hear about his family? About Bonnie and Terry, the little kids he left behind. It must have been hard enough accepting they'd been abandoned. But then came the knockout blow. Their dad was a public enemy. To many, a terrorist. God knows what it was like at school with all that going on. And now there's yet another upheaval. Hicks has been back in contact, writing to Bonnie and Terry asking for a second chance. And the surprising thing is they and their mother Jodie might just let him have it. It's hard to imagine anyone would be desperate to get into this cold, hard place. Adelaide's Yatala Jail. But as we all know, last Sunday, David Hicks willingly moved into G Division, maximum security, alongside South Australia's worst of the worst.
Your dad's on the opposite side of that building right there.
How do you know?
Because that's what I've been told. He's on the opposite side of that building.
Long before he took up arms with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda, David Hicks was a dad.
He's closer to you now, that's all. I've got better fires for you.
With their mum, Jodie Sparrow, this is as close as 12-year-old Terry and 13-year-old Bonnie have come to their father in the past 10 years. Did he tell the kids that he wouldn't be back?
Nah, I remember the day he was supposed to come get them. They were all ready. They had their little bags on their backs and, waiting for him, and he just didn't turn up.
It's a heartbreaking image to think of little kids with backpacks waiting for Dad to show up. And then he never does. I mean, as a mum, does that break your heart?
Yeah. Gets you angry.
Good evening. He was locked up for more than 5 years in Guantanamo Bay, much of that time in solitary confinement. Tonight, David Hicks is back in Australia.
It's been an emotional and confronting week for this family.
You see him, your kids?
Yes. There's still those things on his legs though.
No, he's walking free, look. He hasn't got shackles on.
See it through their eyes. No matter his crimes, nor how long he's been away, this detainee will always be their dad.
And what was it like seeing him on the tarmac there, Bonnie?
Surprising that he's back. I didn't think he would come back for like a few more years.
Do you think he should be in jail?
No, he's been in jail for long enough, I reckon.
Terry was just a toddler when David Hicks left. He's grown into a quiet boy with his father's looks. Footy is his passion, but too much of the time he practices on his own. These are the moments when dads come in handy. What is it like not to have a dad around?
Not fun, because Mum never play fights with me.
Is she any good at football?
No.
So how are you coping then with all the fuss about this bloke, David Hicks, who does happen to be your father?
No, I'm coping.
Are you?
Hasn't affected me really. No.
Bonnie is a stunning girl. But she's also a very troubled teenager and is reluctant to open up. Do you consider David Hicks to be your dad?
No, I call him David.
She's been acting out more since all the publicity with him being caught.
She says she doesn't care. Don't care. Don't know. Don't care.
Yeah, she says that, but, she does. I know she does. She's just not going to tell anybody how she feels.
And how much of that is about being a 13-year-old and how much of it is about being abandoned by a dad?
I think there's a lot about her dad. I mean, I love her so much, but she's really, she makes parenting really hard. Really hard.
Jodie Sparrow and David Hicks became parents very young in life. She was 20, he was 17. And it's clear she still has a soft spot for him.
He's got a heart of gold. He'll do anything for anybody.
They'd met at a local rodeo where he was competing. But 4 years on, they drifted apart and Jodie ended it. For a while, David had access visits to the kids, but they stopped suddenly. And so did any financial support.
He just said his life wasn't suitable for children, and that was it.
And did he explain to you in any way what his life was?
Nah, he wouldn't tell me anything. He just said it's not suitable and you wouldn't understand and all that sort of stuff. And so maybe that's when he had converted to that religion.
To Islam?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
In 1999, Hicks trained with the Kosovo Liberation Army, but peace broke out before he made it to the front line. He came home, converted to Islam, and then headed to Pakistan to fight in the war in Kashmir. He crossed the border into Afghanistan, signed up with the Taliban, trained with Al-Qaeda, and met with Osama bin Laden. Back home in South Australia, Jodie and the kids just thought he was a deadbeat dad. When did you first learn he was in trouble?
Well, I'd heard a rumour that he was fighting for this Taliban, but you don't always believe, like, common gossip.
Did you know what that meant?
No, I had no idea what they were or anything. And then, like, the way I sort of got explained it is like he was a soldier on the back of a camel. Yeah, and then we're sitting there and, like, they said they had captured an Australian and that. And, yeah, I thought, no, it can't be. And then ASIO had come over and, yeah, opened up the folder and there was a mugshot. I just couldn't believe it.
What did ASIO tell you about what he'd been doing?
They didn't. They just said that he was training under that Al-Qaeda.
Al-Qaeda?
Al-Qaeda, yeah, I can never
Al-Qaeda?
pronounce it. Yeah, they just said that he was training under that. That's all they said, really.
He has said that he has met Osama bin Laden, that he trained with him, that he worked for him. To know that he is that closely linked to Al-Qaeda.
It's a bit surprising, especially to actually speak to that man and be that close to him.
And to support him.
Oh, yeah, and to support him too, yeah. I don't know, I honestly don't know what was going through his head.
David Hicks was one of the first terror suspects imprisoned in Guantanamo Bay. It's taken a controversial 5 years to convict him of providing material support for terrorism.
I'd say that he's a follower. They would have seen a vulnerable person, I think, from the whole beginning. My belief is that he's been brainwashed. That's what I think. I think that he's gone to them because he's craved for this family environment.
It's fine to say he craved a family. He had a family back here in Australia.
But yeah,
He had two beautiful kids.
Yeah,
You know,
it's weird. Yeah,
And he didn't go off and join the Peace Corps or the UN.
that would have been a lot better.
You know, he armed himself and he trained with the enemy. He trained with terrorists.
Yeah.
And this is not a peace-loving, family-craving man.
Nah, it's not really when you point it out like that. I don't know what to say, really. I don't know why he done it. I don't know why he stopped seeing his children.
There are many Australians who are very angry with what he's done. Should Australia be angry?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because he fought against us and decided to go with the Taliban people.
Do you think that your father is a terrorist?
No, not really.
If I was to say to you, what is a terrorist?
Oh, they're people with 2,000 on their head. They kill people. They're suicide bombers. That's all I know.
Do you think your dad's a terrorist?
I got told that he went and trained with the terrorists.
Or do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
Bad.
And what do you think about your dad doing a bad thing?
Disappointed.
Disappointed. It must be confusing because you obviously love him, don't you, because he's your dad.
Yeah. Dear son, how are you, Jared? I am very proud to see that you are boxing. I saw you with your gloves on.
Hello, my little daughter. Thank you for your letter. You look very pretty and I like your hair.
While David Hicks is a stranger to his children, over the last couple of years they've been getting to know him through his letters.
Thank you for doing a great job of bringing them up. You've always been an excellent mother. As soon as I finish writing this, I'm going to write to the children. It is going to be the hardest thing I've ever had to do all my life.
I miss you, Bonnie, and I think about you all the time. I can't wait to hold you in my arms and give you a big hug and kiss.
We will be just like best friends.
And be a good girl for your mother. I love you so much. Bye-bye, love Dad.
David Hicks is no ordinary dad.
Nah. That's what I try and say to the kids. You're going to hear a lot of things and people are going to say things. Just hold your head high and just walk away and just ignore what they say because you know differently. You know, you read the letters from your dad. You know he's not this monster that everyone thinks he is. So, you know.
Are you sure that he's not that monster?
Yeah, I can't see him being like that. Not at all. Hi, my name's Jodie Sparrow. I'm just ringing up regarding visits and phone calls with David Hicks.
Contrary to reports that she doesn't want to have anything to do with him, Jodie plans to visit Hicks in jail as soon as she's allowed, and eventually she wants to take the kids with her.
And how is he? Do you know if he's doing all right? Yeah, oh, that's good.
But there will be conditions.
I don't want to take the kids in there if he's all mucked up in the head, and I don't want the kids going in there if he's still got the slightest belief in what he was involved in.
Okay, where do you reckon we go, Frog Hunter?
David Hicks has 7 more months in jail, a long time for a son to plan their time together. In his letters, Hicks has said he wants to do exactly this with Terry. For Terry's sake, you hope he means it. Do you believe that if you walk out on your kids and you don't talk to them for 10 years, that you have a right to come back?
You don't have a right. I don't think you have a right because you never bothered with them. I mean, he has since he's been caught.
And if he wasn't caught, do you reckon
it does make me wonder? Yeah, that does make me wonder. And the kids have asked me that. If he wasn't caught, would he be writing to us now? Would we hear from him? My answer is probably not. I don't think so.
Do you think he owes you and the kids an apology?
The kids deserve an apology.
As a baby, Bonnie was Daddy's princess. Today, she's in 2 minds about seeing him. So have you forgiven him yet for leaving?
No.
Will you ever forgive him?
If I get to know him and trust him more, and then maybe.
And what does he have to do to earn your trust again?
Prove to me and my brother that he cares about us and that he's gonna,
I think she wants to see him, but I think she's so scared of getting hurt again. Daddy walking out and never seeing me again, I think that's her biggest fear.
Have you worked out yet what you want to do when you leave school?
Yep. I want to be a doctor.
At school, Terry's been tormented by some of the other kids about his father. Rather than being ashamed of Hicks, Terry has defended him, using his fists and ending up with a suspension.
Yeah.
Can anything he does in the future or his past, will that make you stop loving him?
Or if he walks out again, then yeah.
If he walks out on you again?
Yes.
So he gets one more chance, huh?
Yes.
For these kids, the issue is bigger than terrorism, and it's much more personal. The plain fact is, David Hicks doesn't have much to boast about, except perhaps Bonnie and Terry, and their willingness to give him another go. For these two and their mother, his greatest crime would be letting them down again. What about your hopes for him and for you and being a family one day again? Could that ever happen?
No, I don't think so. I just want my kids to have the opportunity. It's all about them. It's all about them, and I'm glad he's back here, and I'm glad that he's out of that place.
Most Australians see David Hicks as a terrorist. In your eyes, who is David Hicks?
He's the father of my kids, and yeah, I just really can't see him as a terrorist. I'm sorry, but I just can't. I can't see him meaning to hurt anybody. You know, not the Dave I knew anyway.
Today, for the first time, Jodie got to visit the man she hasn't seen in 10 years. So, is he the Dave you remember?
Yeah, he is actually. Yeah, it was fine. Seems pretty normal.
Does it feel like 10 years since you've last seen him?
Oh yeah, we've both aged a bit, even he said that, yeah. So, yeah.
What message did you take in there from Terry and Bonnie?
They said they love him and that they miss him and they're looking forward to seeing him.
And how did he react to that?
Emotional, yeah. He was I think he was really excited and emotional, knowing that his kids are going to be there to support him.
Hello, I'm Tom Steinfort. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our Extra Minutes segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au, as well as the 9Now app.